Hey there, I'm Renee Brack and this is Movie Juice, your home of film right here on Star Picks. In this show, you'll find out which Australian film is getting our Academy Award hopes up and what happens when a star of Police Academy gets behind the camera to direct. Here's what else you'll see. In this show, I sit down with director Cate Shortland to find out why an Australian would make a movie about the Hitler Youth. It's called Laurie. Then things got a little crazy when I caught up with the dead cute cast of the new sharksploitation movie called Bait. And we'll head off to the Toronto Film Festival to see who Alicia Malone caught up with at the red carpet premiere of Ben Affleck's new movie called Argo. There's all that and more coming up, and I'll have the latest movie news for you as well. Now it's time for Trailer Park featuring Bobcat Goldthwait. He was a star of Police Academy that had that high-pitched voice. Well, now he's stepped behind the camera to direct a film called God Bless America. It's a story about a terminally ill man and his 16-year-old accomplice who are taking out the trash one jerk at a time. Here's your first look preview.
The most hilarious ringtone ever. Just text PIG.
We have a press that just gives them a free pass.
The boys were caught after setting the homeless man on fire.
Coming up on Tough Girls.
A tumor this size is very dangerous. Do you have any family? Oh, gotta take this.
My name is Chloe. I live in Virginia Beach, and everyone loves me because I'm so pretty. I wanted an Escalade! This is the biggest day of my life, and I'm doing all the work!
Hey, creepy. Isn't the schoolgirl thing a little played out?
Don't move and don't make a sound.
If you want the car, just take it. My parents got me the wrong one anyways.
Yeah, that's a tragedy.
Did you just kill Chloe? Awesome. That was a fantastic start. Do you take requests? Who are you killing next? The Kardashians? People who use rock star as an adjective? People who give high fives? Anyone who wears crystals?
You're friggin' Rambo, man.
What are you looking at, old man? I'm recording this. Thanks for not talking during the feature. Thanks for turning off your cell phone.
You're welcome.
Why have a civilization if we're no longer interested in being civilized?
Hey, buddy, what's wrong?
A lot.
A lot of crazy people out there.
I only want to kill people who deserve to die.
Frank.
What?
This is more fun than killing yourself, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I know it's not normal to want to kill, but I am no longer normal.
Really gotta take both those spots?
Yeah.
This is the best day ever!
Oh, she's a very black movie, that one. God Bless America is in Australian cinemas from November 15. Now we'll take a look at Laurie. This is the new film from Australian director Cate Shortland, who swept the awards a few years ago with her first film called Somersault that made Abbie Cornish a star. Now she's directed a very dark film that's kind of like Little Red Riding Hood, if Little Red Riding Hood was in the Hitler Youth, trying to get her brothers and sisters to Grandma's house. Life was not good for Nazis in 1945. Here's my interview.
Unser Führer ist tot, Laura.
As the film opened, I was wondering if I was about to see, I suppose, a very grim version of The Sound of Music, and then it started to become more of a fairy tale, like Little Red Riding Hood.
For me, I mean, the physical journey is a huge part of it, but it's really the psychological journey that I was most fascinated in. So she is in these fairy tale environments, and the whole Nazi regime was fascinated with nature and what that meant to the German people. So we really wanted to put that in the film.
Researching for this film, what were some of the things that you uncovered that surprised you about the at-home life for Nazi families?
The fact that everything was National Socialist. So Christmas was National Socialist. It wasn't about the birth of Jesus Christ. It was about the Führer and the fatherland and celebrating what it meant to be German. And the whole, that they were given storybooks where the Jewish characters were child molesters and murderers, and so that everything about their society was geared towards hating certain people, towards putting them in a certain category, and that's what they believed.
Mutter, Vater? Who are you?
Thomas, ich bin Ihr Bruder. Wir sind von Auschwitz nach Buchenwald gebracht worden, bis wir befreit wurden.
Have you encountered any criticism that your film could be pro-Nazi?
No, we haven't. I was really worried about that. And that was one of the things that we worked on so much when we were scripting the film, because it's a real tightrope of treating the characters like human beings, but not saying, okay, the German people were victimised, because actually they're the perpetrators. So it's just really encouraging. We've just shown the film in Locarno and we won the Audience Award. So that was our first European screening. So I'm just hoping, touch wood, I'm just hoping that that dialogue continues.
Tell me a little bit too about the love story that I'm calling the not quite a love story in this film.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she falls in love or lust with a person that she's been told to hate. So that's a fairly big challenge. And what I like about it is it's like a fight between her brain and her body. So the indoctrination is saying, he's a Jew, don't be attracted to him, he's disgusting. And her body's saying, I want him.
Du darfst mich nicht verlassen. Was hab ich getan?
Laurie is in cinemas right now and it's looking to be a likely contender for the Oscars next year. We'll take a short break and when I get back, let's hook up with Alicia Malone in Toronto and check out Ben Affleck's new film called Argo. It's a cracker of a story and I'll have the latest movie news for you too. Back in a mo. Hey, great to have you with us for more Movie Juice. And before we join Alicia Malone for some red carpet action in Toronto with Ben Affleck, let's find out why James Franco's old professor is suing him for defamation. Here's the latest movie news. James Franco has found out the difference between fame and defame. The Oscar nominee and one-time Oscar host bagged out a uni professor who gave him a D for directing because Franco only turned up to 2 of his 14 classes. Franco has said he had more to learn from director Danny Boyle, who got an Oscar for Slumdog Millionaire. So he went off and starred in 127 Hours, which got him a Best Actor Oscar nomination. The professor has since slapped a defamation suit on the star. He reckons his professional reputation has suffered because Franco called him a bad teacher. Being labelled a bad teacher didn't hurt Cameron Diaz. At the Toronto Film Festival, Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Hugh Grant and Susan Sarandon turned out for the premiere of Cloud Atlas. Jude Law and Keira Knightley discussed the stunning visuals in their costume drama, Anna Karenina.
Well, we were working with ideas of Anna being like this bird in a cage, so you often see these kind of cage metaphors with veils and surrounded by death all the time with fur and birds in her hair that can't get away because they're stuck on the back of her head, and then diamonds that are kind of the most cut glass. So, you know, she works from a really interesting character base, which I always love.
He feels most comfortable, I think, thinking his way out of problems and not feeling, and that's perhaps his downfall in his relationship with Anna. And so we did this, we cut my hair back to like here, to encourage the sort of sense that his brain was almost sort of coming out of his head.
Selena Gomez joined Adam Sandler and Kevin James in presenting their animated flick, Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, we worked hard. Me and my friends worked with this guy, Gendy, for about a year and a half or two. It took a lot of our time, but just knowing that my kids were going to have a good time watching, that's all that was exciting to me.
William H. Macy and Helen Hunt talked candidly about their movie, The Sessions.
I'd never heard of a sex surrogate. I got to speak to the woman that I play, who was very generous with her history and her life story, but even more than that, her spirit, which was, she uses the phrase sex positive, and I decided that would be a great thing to get to embody in a movie.
Down in the States, we're rather perverted in our attitudes towards sex. We're okay with violence, but sex makes us queasy. And I would love to be part of anything where we could flip that formula on its head, because I hate violence and I do like sex.
Brad Pitt's been spending a lot of time with his family in London. The actor revealed what he's been up to lately at a special screening of his film, Killing Them Softly.
We've been here all summer. We've been having an amazing summer here. It's been a great time to be here.
Even in the rain?
Oh, I don't mind a little bit of moodiness, you know, but we start with the Euro Cup, then we had Wimbledon, the Olympics, Murray, and the Paralympics. It's just been a really exciting time to be here.
The house was packed with stars at the Los Angeles opening night of the Tony Award-winning play, The Book of Mormon. Creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker were on hand, along with Cher, Zoe Saldana, Neil Patrick Harris, Viola Davis, Moby, Heather Graham, Kellen Lutz, Alicia Silverstone and Kevin Smith. And that's it for Movie Juice News. Now we'll hook up with Alicia Malone and Ben Affleck in Toronto to find out more about his new movie called Argo. It's a bizarre, true CIA story. Here's Premiere.
The crowd is going nuts. The cast are all raving about the movie. There's Oscar buzz already. How excited are you to be here at Toronto with this movie?
I gotta say it's really thrilling to be at Toronto because A, this is a festival. When I've gone before, the crowds have been really enthusiastic. The people, it's an audience, this film festival, they want to see the movies. They're not uptight or snobby, they really want to enjoy it. This is a movie that in large part is really about Canada and about how Canada and the United States work together to save some Americans and the gratitude that America owes Canada. And I got these great actors here, you know, Bryan Cranston and Alan Arkin and John Goodman and everybody. So it feels like a really special night.
What was Ben Affleck like on set? He's directed a couple of movies now. Is he an old hand at it?
Consummate professional. Consummate. He knows every aspect of his game. And I said early on, it's going to make him in the front ranks of the major American directors, without question. He's completely in command of his game.
It sounds like truth is stranger than fiction. Is that true in this case?
I think so. I think this is a story that people read about and heard about and thought it couldn't possibly be true. If you made a movie about this, nobody would believe it unless it was actually something that happened, and it did.
The film's getting great reaction already from Telluride, played at film festivals like this, a good chance to see how an audience will react when it eventually comes to cinemas?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the film. It's a good film. I think people are excited about it, and I think they should be. I think they're going to get their money's worth, and yeah, it's one of the good ones.
From the trailer, it looks like it has some fun with the Hollywood industry in general. Yeah.
Yes. And the most remarkable thing about Argo, it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
These events happen. And I think America needs this right now. We need something to cheer us up a bit. And I think Argo might just do that.
Ben Affleck, what is he like on set when he's directing and starring? Has he got that down pat now?
Split personality. He doesn't know how to talk to you. No, he really masterful. I mean, he knows everything that's going on, and he's creative. It's just a great director.
So is Ben Affleck a director you would follow into battle?
Ben is surprising because, you know, that whole thing when he was growing up in the business and he was kind of a playboy and all that, that's gone. Now he's like as grounded, smart. I was really amazed at how smart he is. I mean, really smart.
I was hearing from the cast that in some of the group shots you'd be acting and looking at the monitor at the same time. Do you have to have a split personality?
Yeah, they busted me a few times doing things that are embarrassing like that, where I would check the monitor, or sometimes like the actor would say, we'd cut, and we'd be doing that actor's close-up, sort of like the camera's on me now, and then cut, and they go, You're mouthing my lines, yeah. So I had to avoid doing that.
He specifically wanted you for the role. Were you excited when you got the call? Yeah, that's what he said.
Sucker. He's stuck with me now. They can't erase that much film.
Ben Affleck sure is kicking bigger goals as a director than he ever did as an actor, and I think Argo might be his best one yet. Time for our last short break, and when I come back, I'll have a shark with me. A shark with an eating disorder, I think. Bait is coming up. Don't go away. Hey, thanks for sticking around for more Movie Juice. Now it's time to find out what it's like to be shark food. Bait in 3D is a genre monster movie. It's about a tsunami that hits a small town and survivors are inside a supermarket stranded up on some shelves with a shark circling around the aisles looking for food. I like to call it Jaws indoors. I caught up with the director Kimball Rendell, who used to be in the band The Hoodoo Gurus, actress Kariba Hine and Lincoln Lewis, who's the son of rugby league legend Wally Lewis. Check it out.
You ready to leave all this behind?
Where you go, I go. You know that knot in your gut? That feeling in the air. That voice in your head. Don't ignore it. Sometimes, it's the only warning you'll get.
Stay back! Stay back!
When I first saw this film, the first phrase that came to mind was Jaws indoors.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's Jaws meets Deep Blue Sea meets Pacific Fair on the Gold Coast.
Yes, exactly. That's about it.
I often thought that when Spielberg did Jaws back in 1976 that was the film that Australia should have made because we seem to attract sharks. I like calling this a sharksploitation movie. How do you think that it has travelled overseas with the places that you've been to already, like the Venice Film Festival and China?
Well, Venice was amazing. You know, when you make a genre film, you don't expect it to end up in Venice at a prestigious festival, which is normally for auteurs. But it was incredible when you think about it, with all the canals and surrounded by water. It was a perfect place. But we had a big screening. It was a midnight screening, and I was pretty nervous before that when they came in. The audience loved it. They were very vocal during the thing when stuff was happening. They were yelling out.
Do you think it was any accident that the shark that's in Bait looks a lot like Bruce? That was the name of the mechanical shark in Spielberg's 1976 blockbuster Jaws, which also then gave the name to the Eric Bana voice shark in Nemo, because he was also called Bruce. So do you think well, if you look at the shark in your film, it looks a lot like Bruce in Jaws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was son of Bruce. Yeah, Bruce travelled around a lot. After Jaws, he was just very popular with the shark ladies.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if little Derek is, a little bit of a chip off the old block.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really liked that the tables were turned where you could see humans on the shelf where you'd normally see sardines that are all crammed into tins and the sharks cruising up and down deciding which one he would like to put in his own trolley.
Yeah, no,
that was the funny bit.
That's exactly right. Yeah, no, the roles are reversed. The humans become the food source, and the sharks are going shopping.
I can make it!
Bait is in cinemas right now in 3D, so if you want to find out what it's like to sit on a shelf as food with a shark cruising the aisles, go see it. Now this week we're asking what's the fuss about Skyfall being shot in London? Does director Sam Mendes give a 00 to the city of 007's headquarters? Do you think London is boring to look at? Let's take a look.
It's exciting. I mean, I've spent most of my life living in London, and I think the most difficult thing about shooting in London is to try and find a way of shooting it that it's not a particularly photogenic city, and to give it a mood and atmosphere and a sense of threat or a sense of personality, because it's such a varied city. That's been a challenge.
We were going to shoot in London. We had to see parts of London we hadn't seen before, and also use the iconography, well, probably more than you would be able to do in most movies, because Bond opens a few doors. So we got the chance to close down Whitehall. We've used the London Underground and closed down tube stations and things.
I think it's very exciting if you actually do go out and in places that are the real thing.
We tend to shoot in the more expected areas, but I hope in unexpected ways and from unexpected angles. So we are in Whitehall, and we are on Vauxhall Bridge, and on the Embankment, and at Smithfield Market, all those sorts of things. But to me, it's just about how you look at the place, and I think in that respect it's useful to be a Londoner.
Sam and I wanted to make it British, and it's not some flag-waving thing that either one of us is interested in. It's just about basing Bond in Britain. And it's very exciting just to get out onto the streets and show London for what it is. We've made it look very beautiful and very dark and sinister at times, but it's Bond's home.
Now, if something's got you wondering what's the fuss, make sure you let us know what it is at facebook.com/MNCTV so we can put it in the show. Well, that's it from me, but make sure you tune in again next time, because Alicia Malone is joining us from the Toronto Film Festival, where she caught up with Kristen Stewart, who had a few things to say about her new film called On the Road. So I'll hit the road too. But in the meantime, I invite you to stay with Star Picks for all the movies you know and the actors you love. Broadcast in glorious high definition with 5.1 surround sound where available. For all the best in entertainment news, find or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and mnc.tv.